Why do we ruminate so much after an ending of an abusive relationship with a narcissist, and how can we get out of the rut? In this video, I'm going to talk about why people who go through terrible endings in relationship with narcissists end up being stuck in this repetitive, obsessive loop of negative thinking that just never seems to end. Now, first, before we get into it, for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. I'm Shaneen Megji. I'm a transition coach. Welcome to my channel on Toxicity is Not Your Destiny. My mission is to help people navigate toxic relationships in their lives from a biblical, practical, and spiritual perspective. So if you'd like to receive regular content from me on this subject, take a moment right now, click that subscribe button, click that bell, because every single week I'm going to be bringing you a new video to empower you in navigating toxic relationships. So without further ado, let's dive into this subject. Because an ending to a relationship with a narcissist is so painful, it is very possible to get caught up in an endless cycle of ruminating after the breakup, and that is perfectly normal. It's a result of the trauma and part of processing the pain and aftermath of everything. And God doesn't condemn you for it. Just know that. He understands it. So don't beat yourself up because you feel you are wasting so much time just obsessively thinking. Rumination may happen for a season in your life, but it's not always going to be this way. In this video, I'm going to share the main reasons why you are ruminating so much and then give you 5 tips on how you can overcome it. So number 1, the first reason is this. You're only now realizing all the lies and the deception that were present in the relationship. It may have taken you going through the traumatic ending with the narcissist to actually see their true colors. So now that you're seeing them, you are replaying and reliving every single memory of the relationship in your mind and reframing every experience with the narcissist in light of the truth you know now. Now, this type of ruminating is not a bad thing. Reframing and recalibrating your history with the narcissist can bring a real clarity that can help you to move forward with your life. Number 2, the second reason you are ruminating is because the ending of the relationship with a narcissist is a lot like death, and you are grieving the loss. Just as there's no closure with death, there was no closure with the narcissist. The narcissist may have intentionally left things without closure, perhaps to hurt you, perhaps to keep things open for themselves, which can be quite a torment to the soul. So ruminating can be a coping mechanism that your soul is using to try to make sense of things and get closure without the narcissist. It is also a way of living and reliving a life you lost that you may not be ready to part with yet. When you experience sudden loss and you have no control, ruminating is often the unconscious attempt of the soul to keep an ongoing connection with the narcissist and to keep the memories you had with them alive. So if you're thinking about them all the time, then that might be a way that you're trying to regain some control and certainty and keeping your relationship with them still alive. Number 3, the third reason you are ruminating is because of the lack of justice and your desire to see justice meted out to your narcissist. You may be building a case for yourself like a lawyer in court, piling up example after example of how the narcissist wronged you and how they should be held accountable, and you may be replaying it over and over in your mind. So these are some of the big reasons why a person might ruminate after the ending of a relationship with a narcissist. So just to summarize, you are ruminating for these reasons. Number 1, because of the grief and the trauma of the ending of the relationship. Number 2, the lack of closure. Number 3, the lack of justice. And number 4, the lies and the deception that you are realizing after the aftermath of it all. So don't beat yourself up over it. Don't get discouraged because it is normal to feel this way and this too shall pass. So what can you do to ruminate in a healthy way that will facilitate healing and moving forward with your life? I'm going to give you 5 tips. Tip number 1, process and ruminate with God. Maybe there's a time of day that you are vulnerable to ruminating the most and maybe starting to feel sad. Maybe that happens in the evenings or at night. So consider blocking off that time as time to be with God and process with Him. Maybe it's a time to go for a long walk to process and pray. And it's okay if you are in too much pain to even say anything to God. Your tears are prayers in themselves. Your silence is a prayer in itself. If you have nothing to say, thinking your thoughts with God is a powerful way to turn ruminating into a healing exercise. Tip number 2, channel your ruminations into constructive thinking. For example, document your journey of recovering from the pain and trauma with the narcissist. Journal about the things that God reveals to you through it, what He's showing you about yourself, and all the things you are learning, because there are some beautiful gems to be gleaned during this dark night of your soul, and you may never pass through this dark valley again. The day will come when it will be difficult to remember how much pain you were in because you will have moved on so much. So mine out as many gems as you can out of this season of your life. Turn your rumination into a time of gold mining. Tip number 3, understand narcissism and narcissistic personality disorder. The more you understand the psyche of a narcissist and his or her disordered personality, the more you will get clarity on all the things that never made sense. The more pieces of the puzzle you will get, the more you will realize that you are dealing with a different breed of a human being who doesn't think or feel at all the same way as you, or most of the population for that matter. So getting understanding about narcissism and narcissistic personality disorder will usher truth into your world, and that truth will be a precursor to your freedom and moving forward with your life. Jesus said, "You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free." Number 4, find a coach, find a counselor, find some trusted, safe friends to process your pain with. It is okay to talk about what you're going through, even if it seems like this is the only one subject you ever want to talk about for a while. Believe me, having people like this in your life can accelerate your healing. And don't worry, you just need time and space to get it all out of your system. And if you give yourself space and time to talk about it and process it with patient people, you will eventually come to a space where you won't need to talk about it anymore. You will have other things and other priorities taking up your emotional, mental, and spiritual space. Tip number 5, invest in new friendships and relationships and experiences. The more you do this, the more you will notice that with the passage of time, that these experiences will override the old ones and become your new normal, and the old memories will fade. And one last final bonus tip, write out the next chapter of your life. Look forward with your life. Now that you're out, what is God preparing you for next? Take time to ponder this question with God and look for the cues of where He's leading you. When you're looking forward with your life, it is very difficult to look backwards at the rearview mirror, because the rearview mirror is actually where rumination resides. So the key is to keep your gaze on what is ahead, because that is where rumination disappears. You can't be looking ahead and ruminating at the same time. If you focus on throwing yourself into what is ahead, it will for sure pull you out of the rut of rumination like nothing else can. So those are my 5 tips plus a bonus. Just know that to the degree that you're healed and able to move forward with your life is to the degree that your ruminating will lessen and even disappear with no more negative feelings attached to it. Just remember that rumination is symptomatic of pain, trauma, and grief. Instead of focusing on the rumination, just focus on healing from your trauma and grief, and the rumination will lessen and eventually disappear over time. In fact, the day will come when your life will be so full with new relationships and new experiences that it will not occur to you to ruminate. You may not even notice that you have stopped thinking about the narcissist or talking about it. A week may pass, 2 or 3 weeks may pass, and it will dawn on you that you haven't thought about it or talked about it. And that will be a great victory. And that is my prayer for you, that your life will be so full of good things that it no longer occurs to you to think back to your relationship with the narcissist. So I hope this video was helpful in giving you some tips to deal with the rumination and to move forward with healing in your life. And if you have left a toxic environment or are thinking of leaving one and you're in a season of transition, check out a free training I have put together. It is all about 3 key ways to navigate a difficult transition. These are things that brought a massive breakthrough in my life when I was going through a difficult transition. I have included the link in the description box below. And if you'd like to see more content from me and have not subscribed yet, click that subscribe button and click the bell so that you can get all the alerts, because every single single week, I will be posting a new video to empower you to navigate toxic relationships in your life. And if you have suggestions of other topics you would like me to cover, please feel free to drop your ideas in the comments section. Thank you so much. And this brings me to the end of my video. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.